Hey scholars, we are going to be focusing on multiplying whole numbers. To begin our first lesson, we are going to be multiplying multi-digit numbers by setting up an area model of multiplication. I will now be modeling how we can multiply multi-digit numbers using multiplication and area model. We know we're multiplying 128 times 35. So using our area model, we first need to decompose 128. So 128 can be written as 100 plus 20 plus 8. Then we decompose 35, which is 30 plus 5. Now that we have decomposed the number, that is the first thing that we do. We are now going to be drawing our rectangle for our area model, and we are going to be writing the value of each number in a specific area, and that is why we call it area model. So 128 has 3 digits and represents 3, and each digit represents different values. So we can partition our rectangle in 3 parts, and then we are going to be representing each area of our rectangle with 100 plus the section. Middle section here was 20. The other section there, we're going to be adding our 8 to that. Then we're going to go to 35, and 35 has 2 digits, or if we decompose it as 2 numbers, which will be 30 plus 5. So we are going to be partitioning this rectangle horizontally, and we are going to be adding 35 there plus 5 there. Now this is what we do when we are using our area model. After we have done that, we can go ahead and we can start multiplying. So first we are going to be multiplying 30, which is our key number. That's why I have the star there. 30 times 100. So 30 times 100 is 3,000. An easy way for you to figure this out is just simply say 3 times 1 equals 3. And then if you notice that combined in 130, we have 3 zeros in all, 1, 2, 3. So we simply add those 3 zeros, and that would give us 3,000. Now we are going to multiply 30 by 20. 30 times 20 equals 600. Here again, we just simply say 3 times 2. So 3 times 2 equals 6. And we have 2 zeros in all in these numbers. So we just simply add the 2 zeros to 6 and we get 600. And then we have 30 times 8. 30 times 8, we simply say 3 times 8 equals 24. And since there's only 1 zero here, we just simply add the 1 zero, so we get 240. Now that we have filled these 3 areas, we are going to be moving on to the next part of 35 that we have decomposed, which would be to use the 5 to multiply all of these numbers here. So we'll first say 5 times 100, and it is 500 because 5 times 1 equals 5, and then we just add the 2 zeros, which would make it 500. Now we're going to multiply 5 times 20. So 5 times 20 equals 100 because 5 times 2 equals 10, and we have 1 zero, so we add that 0 at the end. Then we have 5 times 8, and our answer is 40 because 5, 8 equals 40. Now that we have used our area model and we get the partial product of each of these, so remember that we decompose 128 and we decompose 35, and then we multiply each of these numbers by each of these numbers here, and we get the partial products in each of these area in our area model. So now that we have that, then our next step will be to add all of these numbers here in the first row. So we'll be adding 3,600 and 240. So we have 3,000 plus 600 plus 240 equals 3,840. And in the second row, we are going to be adding the products that we get here, which will be 500 plus 100 plus 40. So in the second row, 500 plus 100 plus 40 equals 640. Now that we have that, we are going to be using the answers that we get for each of these here to figure out 128 times 35. So we are going to be using 3,840 plus the 640, and our answer will be 4,480. So we can say that the answer to this problem is there are 4,480 pens in the 35 boxes. Now, it's very important that I point out to you that a common mistake that persons make is that they see 128 times 35 and they say, okay, using my area model, I'll just have 1 plus 2 plus 8, and I'm going to be multiplying that by 3 and 5, or 3 plus 5. Doing that, we would have to say 3 times 1 equals 3. Then 3 times 2 equals 6. Then 3 times 8 equals 24. And then we are going to go to 5 and we're going to multiply 5 times 1. 5 times 1 equals 5. Then 5 times 2. 5 times 2 equals 10. Then 5 times 8. 5 times 8 equals 40. And remember, based on what we just did, we will now be adding all the products in the first row. So that means we are going to be adding 3 plus 6 plus 24. So based on the first row, 3 plus 6 plus 24 equals 33. Then we're going to be adding the products in the second row, 5 plus 10 plus 40. So 5 plus 10 plus 40 equals 55. Now that we have that, we can figure out the answer by adding the answer that we get here, the sum that we get here. So 33 plus 55 equals 88. That could not be the answer, because if there are 128 pens in a full box and we have 35 boxes, there's no way that our answer could be less than 128. So 88 could not have been the answer. So this is a common mistake that people make, and be sure you do not make such mistake. Ready for another one? A certain dishwasher uses 29 kilowatts of energy per hour. If the dishwasher was used 156 hours last year, how many kilowatts of energy did the dishwasher use last year? We know that we are going to be multiplying 156 times 29. So before we can go ahead and do anything, since we're using our area model, we will be decomposing 156 as 100 plus 50 plus 6, and we're going to be decomposing 29 as 20 plus 9. Now that we have that, we are going to be placing them on our area model. And what I've done, I went ahead and I created an area model, because I know that each of these will represent the 3-digit for 156, and then each of this column will represent the 2-digit number. So we are going to label it by saying 100 plus 50 plus 6. And for 29, we'll have it as 20 plus 9. And now that we have that, we know that we will go ahead and multiply in order to get the partial products for each of these areas. It doesn't matter what order or how you draw your area model. The most important thing is that you'll have 3 columns or 3 rows to represent your 3-digit numbers, and you'll have 2 columns or 2 rows to represent your 2-digit numbers. It will not make a difference since it will not change the product. So first we need to multiply 20 by 100. So we say 20 times 100 equals 2,000, because all we do is to multiply 2 times 1 equals 2. Then we add the 3 zeros, and that would help us to figure out that it's 2,000. Next we have 20 times 50. 20 times 50 is 1,000, because 2 times 5 is 10, and we just add the 2 zeros, which would make it 1,000. Next, we have 20 times 6. The answer would be 120 because 6 times 2 equals 12, and we only have one zero here, so just add it to 12 to get 120. Next, we have 9 times 100. We write it there. 9 times 100 is 900 because 9 times 1 equals 9, and we just add the two zeros to 9 to get 900. Next, we have 9 times 50, and it will go right here. 9 times 50 equals 450 because 9 times 5 is 45, and there's one zero, so we add 0 to the 45 and we get 450. Next, we have 9 times 6. 9 times 6 equals 54. So now that we have completely filled out our area model, we are on to the next step, which is to add the partial products, which means that we are now going to be adding the numbers in column 1, or the partial products rather, in column 1, then the partial products in column 2. Now that we have found the partial products of the numbers that we have decomposed, we can go ahead and start adding the partial products for each area of the rectangle. So for the first column, which is here, we're going to be adding 2,000, 1,120. So we can say 2,000 plus 1,000 plus 120 equals 3,120. Then we're going to be adding the partial products in the second column, which will be 900 plus 450 plus 54. So if we add all those up together, we will get 1,404. Now that we have the sum of the partial products, we can go ahead and find out what is 156 times 29 by adding 3,120 to 1,404. If we add 3,120 plus 1,404, our answer will be 4,524. So the answer to this question is that the dishwasher used 4,524 of energy last year. Thank you so much for your participation and have a wonderful day. Bye.